Namaskar everyone. Welcome back to English language learning class. Today our topic is problems of English teaching in India and its possible solutions. This might be interesting topic for you. After watching this video, you will be able to understand the linguistic, social and political problems caused by English in India and evaluate the solutions available to the stakeholders. And we'll also come to know about the suggestion for meeting the challenges posed by teaching and learning of English in India. So let's understand it. The English language has lived in India ever since the days of East India Company. It rose to prominence with the emergence of British Raj and got fully institutionalized in the educational sector in 1857 when the first three universities were established in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Before independence, English language enjoyed a privileged position. At that time, it was the first language in the whole country and was the lingua franca of the literate. So it was considered to be the queen of the languages. It is used to be the medium of instruction at school and college levels. And study of English was meant for all the children who joined the school. So we find that English was of great importance before the freedom of our country, and the position of English remained unaltered until the independence of India in 1947. After independence, when the whole administration came into the hands of Indian authorities, the very question regarding the place of English in India became controversial. Some leaders argued that English should be uprooted from the country, whereas some others favored the retention of English. In the words of Siraj Gopalacharya, we in our anger and hatred against the British people should not throw away the baby, which means English, with the bathwater, which means English people. And also many other politicians and educationers favored for English. As a result, in 1963, the Parliament passed a bill, and according to that bill, English was declared to be the associate official language of India for an indefinite period, which was earlier declared for 15 years along with Hindi. When it was dressed up in the cloak of the associate official language, thereafter problems galore. And the basic problem is that we do not have a consistent and comprehensive language policy with reference to English. Now let us see what are these problems. It is not easy to describe the status of English in India in unequivocal terms. All figures of language, including paradox and irony, run amok when we think of English education in India. On the one hand, the state and the central governments are taking special and the vigorous steps to localize the language of instruction, administration and mass media. However, on the other hand, they are giving recognition to more and more English medium schools and colleges, multinational companies and international communication networks. The learners, parents and employers, including government organizations, prefer English, but the politician and the administrator legislate that English should not come in the way of obtaining degrees in English language and literature easily. Teachers are appointed to teach English, but they entertain the students in their mother tongue. Students of BA and MA in English literature expected to become teachers of English language, but they are deprived of a sound training in English language teaching. Of course, there is a B.Ed for school teachers, but there is a popular misconception that college and university teachers do not require any training. A minister may decide that English is no longer needed, and the English educated administrators will have to implement that policy sincerely. Whatever the policies and practices are perpetuated, the worldly wise people will send their wards to the USA, the UK or the Australia or the Canada or the Singapore for education, where they will become well versed in native English. So these are some of the interesting problems that need illuminating answers. Now, who will provide us these answers? Of course, teachers, students, school and college administrators, boards of studies, examinations, parents, politicians, and all the interested people at large will have to think together as well as shed the double standards about English. We have entered globalized and liberalized markets the world over. Let us be honest with English, which has willy-nilly become a major symbol of contemporary India. It may be true that population in India agree with the use of mother tongue as a medium of instruction. However, it is also true that a large number of people want to be English educated for practical necessity. Therefore, it is necessary to take appropriate steps to fulfill the dreams of the aspiring youth from every walk of the life. Now let us see what everyone concerned can do. The English teachers need to become sincere and ask themselves how they can improve the English of their students. Among others, they can do so through distance mode certificate and diploma courses offered by EFL or IGNOU or DU and many more other universities throughout the country. While they keep learning, the teachers may find some motivation for themselves, which they can surely pass on to their students. They can organize teacher groups and student groups to discuss the problem of language that they encounter. The students can understand the importance of English in developing their job potential and social prestige. They should develop their reading habit not necessarily in Shakespeare or Milton or Wordsworth or Yeats or Eliot or Browning and so on. Closer home, we have many great novelists, short story writers such as R.K. Narayan, Mulk Raj Anand, Raja Rao, Shashi Deshpande. Besides, there are a wide variety of articles on different subjects in newspapers and magazines. The student should attend English classes regularly, do assignments and participate in several activities which involve listening, speaking, reading and writing in English. And most importantly, they should stop memorizing selected answers and start communicating in English. Unless they plunge into English, they cannot pass the test of life, even though they may get through the years one after another without interruption. The college or school administration ought to make an effort to appoint teachers who have not only having a degree in English but also a good knowledge of language. The English teachers should regularly enhance their skills. The administration must encourage the teachers to go out to participate in local or national or international academic activities. A library having an extensive collection of books of popular English writers would be of much help to the students as well as the teachers. It is necessary for a group of institutions to organize periodical workshops and training programs for their teachers. The school or college should provide audio-visual aids, and if possible, they should allot more hours for teaching English. They have to organize several programs like debate, group discussion, quiz, essay writing, poetry reading, drama, public lectures, and so on. For better English education, the boards of studies or examination must look into the actual needs and interests of the students while they design the English syllabus. Parents, yes, of course, parents have a very important role to play in English education of their children. They should help their wards by buying the prescribed textbooks and other supplementary materials. They should desist from forcing their children to memorize answers, to select the questions, and should discourage the student from using guidebooks at home. They ought to take real pride in the real achievement of their children. And it is felt by different sections of the society that actual pinpricks are honorable politicians. If the politicians stop politicking with English and adopt a consistent and comprehensive language policy, several damaging problems will be overcome soon, whether it is a language or an economic policy. Honesty is the best policy. Let us remember this adage and rehearse it in our life instead of relaying it for others. Our psychologists, sociologists, economists, historians, and the community of social scientists need to open their eyes to the phenomenon of English language learning and teaching in India. Researchers from various fields need to examine the phenomenon of English language teaching and learning in India in different environments and come out with viable solution for effective teaching of English. As we have moved into the 21st century, problems in English language teaching too have continued to proliferate, but solutions are far more from a sight. There is an urgent need to understand the conflict between literary and functional English teaching. Now it has become a necessity to impart the language skill to our students, but it will not be successful without the sound knowledge of literature. For instance, functional English programs have not yielded the desired result. What will be the future of English as a vocation and as an avocation in India? Time alone can tell. Overall, it may be said that English is a practical necessity in India and elsewhere. The problems due to this colonial legacy in the post-colonial context have to be understood in proper perspective. Lack of a clear language policy with reference to English has been a major stumbling block. Hence, all the stakeholders, including politicians, administrators, teachers, and students, have to put their heads together for evolving a sound policy and practice in order to have an international medium through English. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all like it. Stay tuned and happy learning.